Welcome to Module 13. We're in Chapter 10, the Process Analysis Essay, Success. And I would like you to go ahead and open up your book to page 210 and to open up your computer. I have my computer open and I have the Module 13 document open, so please follow along. Look at page 210. And I want to point out that, the organizing, the process analysis essay is a little bit different than your other essays, where I required you to write an introduction paragraph, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion paragraph. This one's a little bit different, and you're going to need to organize each part of it differently than your other essays. So if you look, it says that one of the more difficult aspects of writing a process analysis essay is deciding where to divide your major steps. Right, and so if you go to your introduction, one of the things that you need to do in the introduction paragraph is establish the purpose for writing. And what is the purpose for writing this essay? Well, if you go back to page 206 in your book, you're going to write one of 2 kinds of essays. You're either going to write a directional process essay or an informational process essay. And the directional process, right, explains how to actually do something so that someone else can recreate the process and actually do it. The other type of essay is called the informational process essay, where it explains or analyzes a type of process. It's not necessary to actually recreate it. So if you look back on page 210, the developmental paragraphs, right, you're going to want to think about that first developmental paragraph. If you're talking about, for example, how to make scrambled eggs, you're going to need a pan, a bowl, eggs, a hot pan, butter, and so forth, an oven. And so you're going to describe at the beginning, in the first body paragraph, what you actually need. Right? If you're going to change a flat tire, you need the wrench, you need a place to put the screws, right? You're going to have to have a screwdriver to take the cap off of the flat tire and so forth. So you're going to need several things. So when you choose your topic, I want you to think about what are the things that you're going to need to actually carry out the process. If you're writing, again, a directional essay. Process, you may want to explain as well the tools that you need or the things that you actually need. Look in the second paragraph under developmental paragraphs. It says that the actual steps of the process can actually be divided into not just 3. Here it says that you can write 4 paragraphs, and so yes, you can write either 3 or 4 body paragraphs for this essay, and we'll take a look at the next exercise and at the final writing assignment and talk about that. So you're going to want to divide it up into the major steps, and you're not necessarily going to have an equal amount of steps under each major step. You may have one major step at the beginning in body paragraph or developing paragraph number 1, and then 2, 3, 4, or 5, or even 6 different small steps in body paragraph 2. Right, so take a look at the conclusion on page 210. It says how to conclude a process essay depends on the type of process being described and the controlling idea that you've chosen in your thesis. Often the conclusion discusses the results, and I would like you to also mention the results in your conclusion paragraph in your final writing assignment for this module. Right? And of course you're going to re-emphasize the controlling idea. That means restate the controlling idea as the first sentence in your conclusion. Please look at page 211. Up at the top of the page you've got exercise 7, and if you open your document and look at your document, you can see that I've done it a little bit different. I've actually combined exercise 7 and 8 together, but I'm just calling it 7. And I've given you different steps that you can actually break these 14 steps up into. Right? You need to divide them. So, of course, the first step is going to be before number 1. That one's easy. But where are you going to put major step number 2 and then 3? Where are the steps that you take on the day of the test, not just before you actually take a driving test, right? And so are you going to put it between step 5 and 6 or 7 and 8, or where? Okay, so take a look, and then where are you going to put test step 3, the major test step 3? Where does that actually begin? It's pretty obvious in this exercise. So please take a look at your thesis statement. I only want you to put 2 words in the thesis statement in exercise 7 up there. And actually this is where I got a model for the final writing assignment at the end of this module 13 document. It's based on this thesis statement. I just changed the wording around and the topic a little bit, but it's basically the same structure. So here you just have 2 key words, and they're going to be antonyms. Right? Fill in the ellipses. Look at exercise 9. I'm going to ask you to read the essay called Studying Math, and this is actually an example type of essay. You can see that basically the paragraphs are all around the same size, not exactly the same size, but you do have, in this case, six paragraphs, right? So it's an introduction paragraph, and then you've got 4 body paragraphs, like I said before, that you can create either 3 body paragraphs or 4. And please look at page 212. I'm asking you to answer all the questions. And then please look at the outline, question number 10. I'm sorry, questions 1 through 9. You're going to have to fill in the key word or phrase after the ellipses. That means the ... So each one of those, except number 4 and 5, have ellipses. So you need to give full sentences for question number 4 and 5 in this exercise 9. But look at number 10, the thesis statement. Right? This is an example of the type of thesis statement that you can write for your final writing assignment. And you'll notice, right, that there's a very short, direct type of thesis statement. The study of math needs two types of characteristics, right? And then you can see, though, that they're carried out in 4 different body paragraphs. The thing that I want to point out here is not just filling in the words or phrases after the ellipses, but that if you look at the structure of this sample outline, you'll notice that in the first body paragraph or developing paragraph, you just have two supporting steps, right? But if you look at the second body paragraph, how many steps does it have? Well, it has 6, right? An A through E. And then body paragraph 3 has just 2, and then body paragraph 4 just has 1. So this is an example. It's not perfectly balanced like your other essays that I asked you to write 3 body paragraphs with just 2 examples. So this is a different type of structure, and it gives an example. So look at page 215. We're jumping all the way over to exercise 12, and I'd like you to write a dramatic entrance type introduction in your final writing assignment. And if you look on page 215, right, it says up at the top in the first paragraph that you have already studied the funnel approach, the turnabout approach, and dramatic entrance is different. Right? It's a different type of introduction paragraph. It still has a thesis statement at the end, but it has a different purpose, right? If you look in that first paragraph, right in the middle, it says that a dramatic, humorous, or otherwise interesting opening can capture the reader's attention. So that is what you want to do here. Right? And in the yellow, you can see that they wrote a dramatic story about Captain Cook. He went to Antarctica, and it describes the atmosphere of sailing into this icy Antarctica. And so this is an interesting way. It's a historical event that happened in the past, but it's a very descriptive scene. Right? And then at the bottom of page 215, you also have a dramatic entrance introduction paragraph that describes the scene if a hurricane was actually coming. A hurricane is a very bad tropical type storm that can destroy a lot of property. So that's what they described in that example paragraph there. What actually happens, why would you need to prepare, what are the steps for preparing for a hurricane that could possibly come. Right? So they gave this dramatic scene of why you need to be prepared, because it can be terrible. If you look at the bottom page 216, for coherence, right, they're saying that you can join together, right, 2 independent clauses, right, with a period there in that case, but then you can also write adverbial clauses with independent clauses. An adverbial clause has a word like after or before or while. Those are time words. There's many other words that you can use for an adverbial clause. But then participial phrases always have an ing word, right? They have typing or having typed. A participle is a part of speech that uses a gerund with verb plus ing. So on page 217, the editing exercise, you need to look at the top of the page. These are some higher level grammar skills that you'll need, of course, for your writing in English 110, but adverbial clauses of purpose, adverbial clauses reduced to participial phrases. Right? These are different types of clauses, and then real conditionals. These are clause types, right, that you need to be familiar with at higher levels of writing. But your exercise 13 that I've asked you to do is going to contain an adverb clause of purpose, a participial phrase, a punctuation, capitalization, two cases that will need to be corrected, and then two conditional sentences. What is a conditional sentence, right? An if clause at the beginning, and then a then clause at the end. Those are conditions. Conditions first, and then the result is second. So if you do this, this will result. And then plurals, of course, that has to do with subject-verb agreement. So look for verbs that agree with in number with the subjects. Okay, look at page 218. On page 218 is your final writing assignment. And you'll notice that I've given you not just two options to choose from. You can choose from four here. Right? So explaining how to prepare one of your favorite types of foods. For example, kabuli palau. What are the steps? What do you need? What are all the ingredients for kabuli palau? And then how do you actually cook it? That would be an interesting directional process that you could use. And then how to repair something, right? Like sewing even a button on a shirt. That's on a shirt that is missing a button. How do you actually prepare to sew a button back on? So that's a very, very simple type process. You don't have to pick a topic like how to repair a watch or repair a computer hard drive, right? What are all the steps? The many, 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 many steps, right? You can do something that's very, very easy, very, very simple. Even kabuli palau is a bit complicated to cook, so think of something like scrambled eggs. Something else, if you want to just talk about how to cook very nice rice, that's a possibility. All right, and then number three, think of a hobby or a sport and that you know how to do well, and how do you actually prepare to be a good football player, right? Or a basketball player or a volleyball player. What skills do you need to practice, right? And that's going to be more of an informational rather than directional type essay. And then recall a time when you solved a specific problem, right? Dealing with a difficult roommate, right, or colleague at work, right? How did you actually solve a problem? That would be very interesting for me to hear how you specifically solved the problem. If you look at the assignment in Module 13, I do want you to keep it down to maybe 300 or 400 words. And what's the reason for that? Well, just describe the steps. Don't go into lengthy detail, but be very clear and very direct about the different steps that you need to take. So if you need to go to 500 words, it's okay. But I would like you to keep it a bit shorter if you can. Remember that you need to, for sure, put a dramatic experience introduction into this paper. I'll be looking for that. It should grab the reader's interest. So write a historic scenario or a description. Right? Use your descriptive skills to catch the reader's attention, my attention. All right? And you can have more or less than 5 to 7 sentences in number 2, but remember to use transition words or phrases, right? Like next, the next step, furthermore, beyond this, in addition, moreover. Right? You need to use those types of words so that your reader can know that you're changing from one step to the next step. I would like you to remember again with your conclusion paragraph, to discuss what is the outcome, or what are the results of taking the steps in the process of either your directional essay or your informational essay, right? Be sure to discuss after you've restated the thesis statement. I would like you to discuss results. So, again, if you have any questions about how to write this paper, it's a bit different than your other papers. You can, again, have 3 body paragraphs like I've given you in the outline here about how to specifically plan, draft, and edit a first draft essay for an English 99 paper. Right? Again, this thesis statement is based on the model from the exercise that we did earlier in this module. And you can see again that I've given you, this is just a sample. I don't want you to write this topic. But you can see that this one is very, very much balanced, right? There's 3 different body paragraphs and then 3 specific steps under each major step. This is a very balanced type of essay. I like balance, but if you look back at the studying math outline, before, if you go up above in your module to the outline about studying math, you know that you can have just 1 step in the first body paragraph, right? 6 in the second body paragraph, and maybe just 2 in the third, and then just 1 step, right, in your 4th paragraph. Again, you can have just 3 body paragraphs, or you can have 4. And so this is a sample for you, but also look at the sample for studying math way up there in exercise exercise 9, and actually exercise 7, getting a driver's license test. If you break those steps up, right, you're probably not going to have the exact same number, right, for getting a driver's license under each major step. So look at those as examples for this paper, for this essay. And if you have any questions, please send me an email with any kind of questions, or chat me up on Facebook. Remember to definitely send your module outlines to Hamid Hamidi, and then when you get back an approved outline, then to begin writing your essay. So I'll see you in Module 14.